welcome back to UHC Tips and Tricks. Last episode we spoke on snowballing and the best way to do it, and now this episode we're going to be talking about the other option I had mentioned, and that is border camping. As always, I appreciate all the support on this series, a ton ranging from the likes to the comments, but that's enough of rambling on. Let's get straight into this episode, and that is border camping. So, what is border camping? Border camping is practically most commonly seen in Badland UT, so I'll be explaining it more in a situation fit for these type of games. Practically, border camping is when you head to the set coordinates starting at pos or negative 2500, 2500 to wait for the walls to shrink and to fight any player shrunk in this surrounding area. There are 4 shrinks in Badland UETs in which you can take advantage of the strategy, which is the 2500 shrink, the 2000 shrink, the 1500 shrink, and the final 1000 shrink. Once you get to the 500 shrink, if you're outside the 500 by 500 area, you'll be randomly teleported into it. And also for the 100 shrink. Borders shrink every 5 minutes, and if you're outside completely on both your X coordinate and Z coordinate, you'll be teleported to the block 97 on both X and Z. If the situation is that you're outside the shrink in one coordinate but within the border in the other coordinate, for example, if it's like 2500 by 2500 border shrink and you're in 2600 by 2450 like your X and Z, you'll be teleported on one side so you can avoid being trapped in the corner. That's pretty much what bordering is. Now let's see what to do really leading up and at border. Step 1, head up. As I explained it a little bit in my previous caving video of UHC tips and tricks, before anything you want to be near border in the 2000 coordinates to get to border quickly. Being late to first border can really mess you up because you'll miss out on a lot of easier kills. Next, heading up for border is usually dependent on what type of game mode it is. In FFAs, I head up fully ready to go straight into border 55 minutes in, but in team games, it'd be smarter to head up and meet up with your teammates around 50 minutes into the game to do enchanting and all that fun stuff. Another thing is your gear at this time might range from the usual full diamond sharp 3 iron that you'll get from mining this long to the unlucky full iron unenchanted after caving for a good 40 minutes. And really, if you aren't geared at this time, your chances of surviving and winning your border is very slim, but possible. And finally, when heading to border, try to keep in mind if you run it efficiently and without stopping, you'll make a distance of around like 300 blocks per minute pass, so keep an eye out on the sidebar clock. Step 2 is set up. Once you've arrived at border, if you can have some extra time until first shrink, which is when the timer is like at 1 hour and 5 minutes, that's when the first shrink is, you can either get in a good position or set up a trap. Players almost always spawn when shrunk 3 blocks down from the corner on both X and Y. So for example, for 2500 border, players are going to spawn on the block if they're both fully outside of the border at the block 2497, 2497. Taking this in mind, you can do a multitude of traps here as long as the roof block is air and not anything. So don't cover up the roof because they'll spawn on top of it. I usually do a simple crafting table trap where they just spawn in a 1 by 1 and you surround them in crafting tables. But focusing all your resources in one trap is not a smart trap because there's always a high chance that no one spawns in it. When you're at border, always be on the lookout. There's usually at least 3 other full diamond players around and a good amount of undergeared players. It's different at really every game, but be ready to do a lot of fighting here. You want to gain control of your whole border before it shrinks, and if not possible, try to be on the lookout for cleanups or easy kills on the side. During this time, also make sure you have all your golden apples made and the best gear possible that you can make, though don't take too long to the point that you miss the first border. And the final step, really step 3, is winning your border. First, like snowballing, you want to play border camping smart and not make rash decisions, because one mistake can easily get you killed or cleaned up. The first border shrinks at 1 hour and 5 minutes in, and as soon as that does, you'll see like 10 block high bedrock walls appear and that you can't pass. Any players outside this wall will be TP'd, and you're going to want to, if possible, send one quick shot to the corner to see if it hits the player spawn there. If it does hit someone, go on and get the quick kill if they're not overgeared. Always be on the lookout for cleanups before you get into fights, especially if it's a forest bound, because someone could always be hiding and waiting for the one tap. Don't expect to win your border at the first one. It might take a few borders until you finally killed all the stack players, but once you've done it, you have a good chance in the end game. Keep an eye on the timer for the next shrink. You don't want to get shrunk into the corner trap, so if you're running low on time, run on one side of the border until you're around like 30 blocks inside, so you'll be teleported near corner but on the side. For example, if the next border is 2000 and you're, let's say, 2400, Z 2300 with 2 minutes on the clock, and you'll be teleported to X 2000, Z 1960, which is perfect for border camping. Next, don't chase a player forever to the point that you'll miss a border because of it. Only do this if they have something essential you need, like speed potions or a diamond armor piece that you don't have. And finally, anything can really happen at border, especially if you're higher than average at PvP, so don't give up too easily if you're undergeared and you see a bunch of full diamonds already at the corner. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode of UHC tips and tricks on border camping. A little bit short like snowballing, but border camping is honestly just lots of PvP and timing, so make sure you get those things right and it might go really well. Trust me, it takes a lot of practice, and Of the first times I border camped, it took me a couple games to actually get good at it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and as always, if you think I missed a few things, which I'm sure I did miss a lot of things, feel free to comment down below to help other viewers. I'll definitely probably be revisiting snowballing and border camping on future episodes just to add more tips and just refine strategies and all that. And if this video helped you in any way, feel free to like, and I'd really appreciate it. And that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, everyone.